What's up, guys? I apologize. Today's video may be excruciatingly boring. I've received a lot of questions regarding the Evertune and changing strings, so I figured today I'd show you how to change the strings on your Evertune equipped guitar. Now, this may be a little more in depth. What I'm doing is I'm changing my strings, but I'm also jumping up a gauge. Typically I put 52 to 10s on. This time I'm putting 56 to 13s. So it's going to take a little extra adjusting to get the tuning into position. Now, typically what would happen if you're changing your strings up for the exact same gauge and your guitar with your Evertune is already set up, it will jump right back into tune. So like I said, this one will be a little more in depth. We're jumping up a gauge, so it'll be a little more involved with tuning. Now, what I'm hoping you guys get out of this is A, it's not hard to change your strings on the Evertune, and B, sort of explain the mechanics behind how the Evertune works. So let's get busy. There are a number of reasons why one may need to change their strings. In my case, tuning stability came into play. I've had these strings on this guitar for a while, and now they won't stay in tune. There are a number of hex slots in the Evertune Bridge. This first set of hex slots controls your string height. Each saddle has its own hex slot. This is how you control tuning for each individual string. Evertune includes this cool hex key to make all these adjustments. In this case, we can see that my D string is flat. Take that cool little tool, insert it into the hex slot of the saddle of the string in question. In this case, our string is flat, so we are going to turn that tool clockwise, or to the right. I find it to be more accurate if with each adjustment you take your hand off of the tool. Continue this process, making micro adjustments until your string is up to pitch. Yo, so sit down, buckle up, because you're about to watch the most entertaining thing you'll watch on YouTube all day. Some guy changing his strings. All right, we better speed this up a little bit. The Solar is equipped with locking tuners. I can honestly say the only complaint I have about this guitar is just how close those tuners are to one another. My fat fingers have a hard time getting in there and turning those tuning heads. I tried to be slick here and pull all the strings through at one time, and you can see the high string decided to wrap around all the other ones. That's what I get for trying to look cool. My string of choice are D'Addario NYXLs. In this case, I'm using a set of 11 to 56s. Typically I use 10 to 52s, but I was looking for a little more string tension, so I went with this set. We better speed this up again for a little bit. You can access each saddle from the back. You just take the string, stick it in the hole, that's what she said, and you pull it through the other side. And if she said that too, then congratulations. Repeat this process for each string. Let's speed it up again. These locking tuners have a cap on top. You take that cap and spin it till it's in its home position. The hole that the string goes through is offset on each of these tuning posts. I am orientating these so that they're closest to the lowest string on your guitar. Let's speed it up again. At this point, the process is pretty straightforward and simple. These tuners are nice. All you have to do is pull your string all the way through, apply a little bit of tension, and then spin the tuning head until the string begins to wrap around the post. I like to do this until it turns about a quarter of the way around. Then you just repeat the process for the rest of the strings. Boring. Let's speed it up again. It's at this point I grab my trusty D'Addario string cutter and peg winder doodad thingy and trim the end of the strings. All right, all done. Next step. Now, while you typically adjust your tuning at the saddle, when you first put on a set of strings, especially if the gauge changed like this, you need to spin the tuning head until the string comes up to pitch. Now your string is right up against the point where you'd be able to bend your string. Now is where you begin adjusting the tuning at the bridge. Like I stated before, had I used the same set of strings or the same gauge of strings, this step would be a snap. The tension on each of the saddles would have been correct, and all I would have needed to do is turn the tuning peg until the string comes up to pitch. But since I'm an a-hole and I decided to up my string gauge, this is a bit more involved. Hey, look at that, we're in tune. Here's a perfect example of what I was talking about before. I'm bringing that G string, or what is supposed to be G, up to tension, and then I backed it back down. When I turn that tuning peg, and then the string becomes sharp, I back it back down. That's when you know you're up against the point where you'll be able to bend your strings normally, and because we backed that tuning head back off a little bit, the Evertune will do its job and keep our string in tune. Now I'm using the tool at the saddle to adjust the tuning of this G string. Right now you can see it's flat, and I'm turning it clockwise to bring it up to pitch. That G string took a little too long because the tuner was not cooperating. Now, at the risk of sounding redundant, I want to be as clear as possible. What I'm doing here is turning that tuning peg until the point where it doesn't change the pitch of the string anymore. Now that I'm in that zone, I continue to turn the tuning peg until I get to zone 3. Zone 3 is the point at which the Evertune will allow you to bend your string normally. There we go. You heard the string go sharp. Now I can adjust the tuning at the saddle. Now again, the reason why I have to adjust the tuning so much is because I changed the gauge of my strings. So theoretically, the higher the gauge, the higher the tension. This is why I'm having to adjust it so much at the saddle. Congratulations if you're still following along. I hope I haven't lost you. So you'll continue to do this for each string until it's perfectly in tune. Now I set up my Evertune so that I'm able to bend my strings. You can see I'm bending the note like normal. If I adjust the tuning peg or loosen it, the saddle compensates for the bend and holds its pitch. Now I'll tighten the tuning peg until the pitch sharpens. And now I can bend the string like normal. Now let's just demonstrate that one more time. Now, like I said, a little in-depth, so I hope I didn't lose you guys. Apologies if it was excruciatingly boring. I know how entertaining watching somebody tune a guitar can be, so if you stuck in this long, awesome. Thanks so much. If you have any more questions on the Evertune or anything else, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And on your way down, why don't you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, so that you're notified every time I drop a video. And once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers. It's blown me away. All the positive feedback, all the cool comments. Thank you guys for letting me know how I helped you. I really appreciate it. It really kind of brings me a sense of pride to be able to help you guys. And of course, thank you to Ola for calling me on his live stream. I saw a pretty big bump in subscribers from that. It just goes to show how awesome that guy is and how giving he is in regards to helping out other musicians. So, all right, I've blabbed on enough. We'll see you guys in the next one.